Hey gang, TJ Conley here from Team Hypre. Tonight we're going to talk about reprogramming and rewiring your brain. When you're racing, you are always conditioned and kind of automate yourself to always stay between two white lines. There is the reality of the race stewards standards that you need to stay on track at all times during a race. Unless there's wrecks, unless chaos is happening. And when that happens, those white lines are gone. You have the ability to use every inch of track, grass, and as long as you're not going to go crush yourself into a wall, that is your field of operation.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
What?
And tonight we're going to talk about turn one at Monza. And we're kind of still conditioned sometimes, and we automate ourselves to still go into turn one despite knowing and seeing lockups, tire smokes, and contact. That really is you going in because you're following those conditioned rules of laps on laps on laps, of staying on the race surface, staying between white lines, and going for that apex. But we got to remember, we got to use our heads, that racing is more mental than it is just raw pace. It's the combination of both. And to have a race, to finish well, you need to be mentally smart. You need to be able to adapt. So tonight we're going to focus on the fact that you have options, you have things you can do, and we're going to remind ourselves of this every single practice and every single race, that you can have some control into your fate and your destiny, that fight or flight. And in these cases, flight is the better option. So let's review some race footage from GT Champions, turn one at Monza, and a race restart where things didn't go to plan at all and turn one was chaos. But you'll be surprised, or maybe you won't be, that not everyone chose that flight. So let's get right into the footage.
All right, so before we really get into it, we need to remind ourselves of the fact that this is turn one. It's chaos. It's tight. But the reality is there's a lot more space here than you realize. You have the room on the left for the grass. You have everything off to the right. And the other fact is you don't get stuck in the gravel, so you can use that too. So when you overlay all of this, that's more real estate than the actual track surface. So when things get a little chaotic, look to use these areas. They are your escape. They are your availability of space. Don't forget it. Use it. So this first clip here is of Brian Hoskins. Now he's giving himself plenty of space for the race start, and you can tell they're going. So he's going to get a great run on the Corvette. But if you look ahead, now he's not going to be able to see this. You can kind of understand it's going to happen because it's turn one at Monza. There's three wide. So what happens eventually, it just becomes a parking lot. Now this is the best case, right? There's no fight. There's no flight. It's kind of just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting 2-3 miles an hour on a racetrack. Really, there's nothing wrong here. But honestly, he's in the middle of the lane. This is the best case that can happen for you. So, of course, the caution flags. So, Brian, way to be patient. Okay, now we're riding with Nathan. Nathan gets a good start. Got that AMG power, goes right underneath the Mustang and stays between the white lines. Again, white lines, right? So he's doing a good job. He's being patient. He knows there's nowhere else to go. He knows it's going to bottle up, so he's doing a good job just anticipating kind of the slowdown area. Now, these two cars in front collect. It's kind of out of peripheral, but it collects. He gets smacked. Now he's got a choice. He could went right or left. Stayed left. So now he hits another AMG, and he kind of gets stuck. So it's kind of one of these things where he could use the outside. And you get this space here off to the right, or you choose to the left. That's your only options. The reality is, out of your field of view, you don't know what's there. But likely nobody's off to the right, that far off the apex. And you can kind of cruise around, gain a little bit of time back versus being parked, or get hit again. So there's also the fact that you can avoid more trouble. Okay, so now we're going to ride on Steven Saunders. He's a teammate of mine, friend of mine. Gets a great start. Jumps immediately to the left, which is a safe side to be at because you have the exit road in case something bad happens. But what happens here, I really think, is just the automated programming of staying between white lines. We're going to see everybody chokes up. And he almost comes to a complete stop right there. And he chooses to stay in the white line. The reality is he could have gone straight through the exit road. And when you stop like that, there's most certainly going to be cars underneath you. So you're putting yourself at further risk. And it did. It was complete risk. But it's kind of one of those things you're just automated to do. So next we look at Michael Piccinini. I think it's Piccinini. You can see Steven Saunders up there. Now they all park. Now Michael is one of the first ones I see he evades. So he sees the cars parked, immediately cuts left, goes over the curbing. First person I saw do it. Now his release back on track wasn't really the greatest. He went in the middle of the lane. So we'll watch it one more time. So they're parked. Doesn't really have many options at this point. Doesn't stay between the lanes. It goes left, follows the AMG, but right here he goes middle of the track. Could have put him in more at risk. Almost collected the yellow AMG, but still the right move. Evade, people. Okay, so now we're on board with that AMG, Andrew. He's getting a great look from Steven's barbecue right there. Some really well done hot dogs and burgers, but they park. Now, what Andrew's going to do here is make a decision. He immediately sees this wreck, turns left, and the best thing Andrew does is stay the left-hand side. Does not go to the inside, middle track, or right side. Caution comes out. He saved his car. Got a bunch of places. Well done, Andrew. Okay, so here we are. Restart after the yellow flags and the caution laps. And it's chaos again. People getting good jumps, bad jumps, and up in front of these cars here is a wreck, and then here's another wreck, and then there's another wreck, then there's another wreck. Oh my god, there's another wreck. Chaos. Oh, this Audi gets smacked. What is going on? But I'm going to say what this Audi does. They got it. Only car. The race start through the caution. Only car to use the bail road. One car. So we go back to this restart from another point of view on an AMG. Here comes the wreck between the Mustang and the Porsche. They all check up. More wrecks behind. More wrecks in front. And people are going to still commit between these white lines despite a car driving backwards. Look, use all the real estate, folks. Be good. Be safe. Otherwise, unfortunately, you're going to tow back to the pits like the rest of these cars have. So we're riding with the AMG. It's Toby. Toby is a good dude. Really like him, like his team. And you can see this collection of the Mustang and the Porsche creating this effect. Now, Toby has 1 split second right now.
The MiG has you in his gun sight. What were you thinking at this point?
You don't have time to think up there. If you think, you're dead.
Well, that's a big gamble with a $30 million plane, Lieutenant.
I can keep going. He checks up, now goes. But he gets collected by that Porsche. The one thing I just have to say is Toby hesitated, but he could have gone over the white line. Could have gone in the grass. Could have given himself more space. Didn't occur. So now we're going to ride behind Toby with that Audi that did use the exit road. And you can kind of see Toby up to the right. He's going to check up here. The Audi closes a lot of ground on him. Now, the two things here. One is the Audi kind of gets chokes up. Toby still has some inches to the left. He actually came back to the right, so he gave himself less space. Now, of course, this BMW collects the Audi, driving backwards. Audi's like, nah, nope, car on the right, going backwards, exit road. Get a meatball, had to repair damage, get towed, but that was the right decision. There was too much chaos going on. That's what that exit road's meant for. Got to reprogram your brain. Exit. Stage left. Hey, look, it is super easy to be that Monday morning quarterback that reviews footage and says, I should have done this, they should have done that. That's not what this is about. The reality is we are all pre-programmed. We operate certain ways, and with racing, lap over lap over lap, we stay between those white lines. We kind of like horses with blinders, right? You can't really see beyond what you're used to doing and beyond what's right in front of you.
So my main point is when it comes to these incidents and it comes to these wrecks, kind of just look broader, open your field of view. Know the fact that you don't have to stay in these white lines. In fact, get off them. Get yourself the space. Realize that in these videos, many people didn't do that. We had one car use the exit row. So that kind of tells you in a lobby of 30 people, 1 out of 30 chose that evade situation to use that exit row, which is built there for when you brake too late and you blast through the apex, that you can just use this escape route and then get on track safely. So, when you break that habit and that kind of automation, it's not that you don't have the ability to do it. You're just pre-programmed to do it, to stay within those white lines. But I will promise you is if you do evade these incidents and you do keep your car safe, there is no tow. There is no 6, 7, 8, 10 minutes of repair. You'll find yourself placing further up in the field at the end of the race. You're going to find yourself having more fun. You're going to credit yourself, and you should credit yourself for avoiding these incidents by taking these exits, by going off into the grass. There's no better feeling than finishing further up in the field, right? So, I hope this helps. Give me your feedback. If you feel like I'm being unfair or you feel like my commentary or my opinion or assessment of something was inaccurate or incorrect, that's fine. I'd rather you tell me. I'm learning too, just as much as you're learning. If you feel like this is helpful, also please comment. If there's anything else you'd like me to do or walk through, totally will do it. If you have footage you want to send me and say, what's your opinion on this? I've got no problem walking through it. The reality is I want everybody to race hard, race fast, but most importantly, let's have some fun. The whole point of this is to be competitive, but also test yourself, right? We're testing ourselves to go faster, beat a previous lap time, and enjoy it. So hope this helped. You leave some feedback, and then I look forward to doing the next one, and hopefully it's something that you guys send me. So talk to you soon. Have a good night.